Hey y'all, I'm Wilson. Welcome to my little shop here. Y'all excuse the mess. If you've seen my other videos, you know it's always like that. It never changes. But anyway, I'm out here, I'm doing some belt sanding today, so I figured I'd do some belt sander tips. Like I say, it's been about 3 weeks since my last video. I finally got all my paying jobs out of here. I'm down to my little home projects I'm doing for myself. I got these. I've already done some videos on these. Just little countertops here for a couple little bookcases I'm doing. Y'all excuse me if I get tongue-tied here. I probably will. And if I don't pay attention to what I'm doing, I'm going to trip on something and bust my ass while I'm talking. So let me stick y'all up here on my little camera stand so I don't do that. I was out here belt sanding these, and I figured it'd be a good time to throw a little video out there. Try to keep my subscribers up. I got this the other day too. I wanted to put this in the video right here. I don't know if y'all can see it. This is my belt sander I've been using right here. This is a little 3x21 Porter cable. In my opinion, Porter cable pretty much makes the best belt sanders. Anything else I've used just hasn't been as good. But I've got an old Porter cable here I wanted to show you. This was my brother-in-law's sander. He died a little bit over a year ago. Cancer got him. But anyway, this was his sander that he had. He was a cabinet maker too. I worked in the same shop with him for years. Great guy, I really miss him. But anyway, he had this, and he had this little router here. Which I ain't messing with that right now. I'm just showing y'all. But anyway, he had that at his house. And I'm the only one that does any cabinet work anymore, except for my girlfriend, and she does painting. She don't use sanders like this. Anyway, I've got to get it fixed, but this is one of the best damn belt sanders ever was made. We used to call them the old choo-choo sander. And back about 30 years ago, this was a $500 sander, and you can't buy them now. They discontinued them. Good thing is I've got another brother-in-law that is great with little small motors and stuff like that, so I'm going to see if he can fix it, see what we can do with it. I'm hoping it works out, because like I say, this is one of the best belt sanders ever made. It don't have dust collection, but the way it works, it blows the dust so it don't go in your face. It's got a chain drive, so it takes oil to it. The wheel, I have tried to turn this wheel, and it turns, and I can feel it's turning the motor, so the chain's still intact. Everything's still intact that way. I hadn't even plugged it up to try it yet. But I just wanted to show that to y'all. Well, I might give y'all a closer look. Because a lot of y'all, if y'all are younger, y'all probably had never even seen one of these. Rockwell used to make one of these. They were great. Porter Cable started making them. And like I say, 30 years ago, every cabinet shop I know of down here had these. This was what they used anytime they needed a belt sander. That's my brother-in-law, Junior. He had this at the shop, so he had it wrote on there that it was his. Anything that was his, he was bad about marking up. I might even, if it works, I might even take some little clear coat and just go over top of that so it's still there. But anyway, this is it. A little Porter cable, that's where the chain is. You can see it looks like some of the oil's kind of leaked a little bit right there. Got that little thing right there. That's where you fill it with oil. Great little belt sander. Things balanced just right. Works great. But anyway, I'm just sitting here running my damn mouth, spinning y'all all around. This is what I was working on right here. This is a little top for, I think I done went over it with you. It's a little top for a bookcase I've been building. I got two little small bookcases I've been building. I done a bunch of videos on them. But I've been working on them over the last few months because I try to keep paying jobs coming in, and I'll put my stuff on the back burner. But anyway, let me get a little closer here so you can see. I'm gonna give y'all a few tips. Now my bag's got a hole, so it's throwing dust. It's throwing dust out, so I've kind of got it angled so it don't throw so much out. When you're trying to flatten something like this out, the main thing, pretty much anything you're working with a sander, any kind of sander, you got to remember you're working with the whole surface as a whole. You're not trying to do one spot. If you got one spot that needs extra attention, that's one thing, but you're still working the whole surface. And when I start out, you start off with a belt sander, you start off going. You don't just pull the trigger and then start going. You pull the trigger. Like that. You got it on there, you pull the trigger, you start going as soon as you pull it. You'll get it figured out after you do it a few times. Of course, I don't think a whole lot of people's using belt sanders anymore. A lot of people I see, they just put some 80 grit on the orbital and use that. But man, it just takes so much time to do it with the orbital when the belt sander works so much better. But the belt sander will work you a lot harder. So it's a hell of a workout sometimes. Now, usually I'll screw a board or nail a board to the table, nail it right here so I can sand, because it's got so much pull to it, it'll pull your workpiece out from under it. But I've got it on this blanket. Sometimes you can use a blanket like this and it'll hold it without it sliding. Depends on what you're doing, but it works good on this. But like I say, you're working with this, you're working the whole piece as one, and when you're belt sanding, you got to come all the way to the edge. Remember, when you come to that edge, if you're going like this, you have a tendency to tip up. When you try to come off that edge, you have a tendency to tip up. When you go the other way, you have a tendency to tip down. You got to make sure you keep it flat on that pad even when you're coming off the edge. And something that helps is you have to be using your whole body. You notice when I'm coming to that edge, I'm bringing my whole body out here, because if I stand here, then I have more tendency for that to tip up. You got to keep it flat, and you're using your whole body when you're sanding with this thing. There just ain't no way around it, and a lot of people don't like it because it's a hell of a workout. And you'll notice when I'm doing this, I've kind of got it at an angle. Well, I've got a top that is individual boards here. This ain't plywood. I'm going to pull y'all down here and let you see what I've got. I've got a 3/4 board and 1/4 inch lumber glued on top of it. I clamped it down to the board, clamped everything together. There's no nails in it. It's all clamped down with glue. But where all those joint lines are, you got to flatten this whole thing out. I had it pulled pretty tight, but you'll still have a little fluctuation where the joint lines are. You got to flatten the whole top out, and if you've got a drum sander, that's the best thing. But if you don't have a drum sander, a belt sander can be one of your best friends. If any of y'all have used the belt sander, I know y'all see me on here with it at an angle like this. The reason I've got it like that is because I'm flattening this thing, and that helps me to that gives me more surface area across here. It helps me control it. what it does is it puts Beltsander scratches going that way. So a lot of times you can work a board like that, get it flat. On your last pass, you're going to want to run it straight. Last pass, you want to run it straight so you get rid of those Beltsander scratches. Of course, after this, I'm going to put an edge band on this. Then I'll run the Beltsander over it again real lightly to smooth that edge band out at the top. And then I'm going to take my orbital, and I'll use my orbital, and that orbital will really take the scratches out. You can still start with an 80. And work your way down, 100, 120, however far you want to go with it. I'm probably just going to go down to 100 grit. Usually works fine, don't have any problems. I'm not going to do a stain or anything. I'm just going to clear these. So that look right there is what I'm going to have. The actual bookcases are painted. Once I get them all together, all that painted, I'll take and do a video on the whole finished product so everybody can see. But yeah, that's what I'm doing today. I'm just kind of working on that. Like I say, I got all my paying projects out of here at the moment. I got to bring something else in here. But it's not that big a deal. Right now I'm doing drawings for another shop. I was doing hand drawings, but now I'm working with mosaic, and it is real interesting. I'm going to have to bring the computer out here and do a quick little video on the mosaic deal that I'm working with. I'm kind of a dumbass when it comes to computers, but even I can figure it out, so hell, it ain't that bad. But anyway, I'm just rambling on, running my damn mouth. So if y'all are watching, I sure appreciate it. I am right now at 432 subscribers, I think, so I sure would appreciate it if y'all would subscribe. I'm trying to get up to 500 right now. That is my goal for the moment. So I sure appreciate all y'all. And let me quit running my mouth. I'm going to get on off of here. And I will see y'all next time.